So you want to ace your next interview and get that dream job. Then you clicked on the right video. We're going through the 15 guaranteed to ask tech interview questions, and I'm simply giving you the best possible answers and the answers you shouldn't say to master your next interview. If you're new here, hi. My name is Pete and I'm a software engineer for the last 12 years. In these 12 years, I have attended hundreds of tech interviews, both as an interviewer and as interviewee, and I have helped many people get their first job. So I'm pretty confident these 15 questions I'm giving to you today are most likely to be asked on your next interview. I'm also giving you for free my CV template, so you are ahead of 99% of the competition. I'm also giving you a bonus tip that 9 out of 10 times added me to the interviewer's shortlist, so you want to stay till the end for that. And without wasting more time, let's dive right into the questions. The first question will be, of course, to describe yourself. So the interviewer here wants you to highlight your relevant experience, either if this was a personal project, a school project, or a university project, or anything related to tech or programming. He also wants to see that you have passion and that you do something on your free time relevant to coding. The interviewer here doesn't want to hear about your personal life, if you have a dog, if you have a cat, if you like playing games, all this kind of crap. Keep this information for after you get the job. At this point, he doesn't give a shit. So make sure to stay relevant and short. Why do you want to work as a software engineer? You should express here your interest in problem solving and coding. You should show your desire to create innovative solutions and be productive. What you should never say, I just need a job. Nobody wants to hear that and they don't expect to hear that. If they hear that, what programming languages are you proficient in? Here you should just mention languages that you have some experience or you're proficient at. Mention the projects that these languages were used, and for God's sake, do not mention languages you have no experience or very limited experience. They will understand you're lying and they might ask you a tricky question. You don't want that. Describe a project you worked on and your role in it. Choose a project that showcases your skills, that you have something to be proud of. Explain your role to the project, the technologies you used, and how many people worked on this project if you weren't alone. If this was a team project, do not say others did most of the job or I didn't do much on this project. This will throw points down the drain. How do you stay updated with the latest technology trends? Here you can mention that you're subscribed to newsletters, you follow blogs, tech blogs, or you take occasionally up-to-date courses just to keep up with the trends. You can also say that you are subscribed to some great YouTube channels like Fireship, Developete, Simplified, and some other great YouTube channels. Things you shouldn't say.
I don't really keep up with trends, or I don't care about updates, or I keep trying to master what I know.
What is your experience with version control systems like Git? Here you can mention how familiar you are with Git commands and workflows and projects where you used version control, add, pull, push, all this. Hold on a minute. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, pause this video and go to github.com and find out what the f GitHub is. Git is a tool you will be using for the rest of your life as a software engineer. You will be using it in every job you will be working at. Now, the thing that you should never mention is that I don't use Git. Who doesn't use Git and consider to be a good candidate? No one. How would you approach debugging a complex issue in your code? First, we isolate the problem and use debugging tools, and second, we check the logs. My personal preferred language is JavaScript. In JavaScript, whenever I have a bug, I console log everything, everything. Just make sure to remove the console logs so I know exactly at which step my issue is. And now, what you should never say is,
I just guess until it works.
No. How do you handle working under tight deadlines or under pressure? Now, my friend, is your time to shine. It's time to stress your time management and prioritization skills. You can provide an example of a tight deadline that were met by explaining how proper time management led to success. I'm pretty confident that if you convince them, the job is yours. It is the most important skill an employee can have. Time management. No one likes to waste time, and especially companies. So prove to them that you can manage your time and you will not waste a single minute within the company, and that's it, my friend. You're the king. And definitely don't say, I cannot deal with stress well. What is your experience with databases? Here you can mention a couple of databases that are pretty common, like SQL and MongoDB. By just saying these two, seems like you already have some experience around this. but you can elaborate more and explain how you used these two within a project. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, pause this video once more and go to Google, search MongoDB or SQL, check what these things are essentially doing, and you're golden. The reply you should never say is, I have never worked with databases, or I have no clue what databases are. Now, the question you will be asked 1000% is, tell me your strengths and weaknesses. Now, for strengths, you can mention teamwork as well as working independently, problem solving, time management, all this kind of stuff. But you should also mention a weakness. As a weakness, I would say I'm a perfectionist. Who doesn't like a perfectionist, right? In this point, you will make it seem like it's a negative, whereas in reality is a positive. You can say, I am a perfectionist. I always go back at some point and check my code to make sure I haven't skipped anything or I applied the best possible practices to my piece of code. And you can say that this is a negative thing because I spent extra time and extra energy on an already done project. This will make the interviewer love you to the moon and back. You should never say, I don't have any weaknesses, not even as a joke. No one is perfect, and the person opposite you wants to see that you have some self-respect to understand that you have some flaws as well. Describe a time you had to work as a team. Here you can give an example of collaboration or a team project that you worked either in school or university or wherever in your life. You can show contribution to a team, that you have the team spirit and you are willing to work with other people and that you are open-minded and thinking outside of the box. This is what they want to hear. They definitely don't want you to tell them, I prefer working alone. No one would hire you to work alone. There will always be times where you will need to work as a team, either with a team member or your manager. How do you handle feedback and criticism? You can view feedback as an opportunity to grow and give them examples where criticism and feedback improved your work. You can tell them that you always send the outcome of your code, either if the outcome is the UI or if you have friends that understands code, you can send them the piece of code and they will always reply to you with a feedback, either positive or negative. This is the best way to use feedback. Essentially, you will tell the interviewer that you will use the feedback or the criticism to improve your work and that you are always open to criticism. For God's sake, do not say, I hate being criticized or I don't like being criticized by others or anything like that. You should always be open to feedback. Always. Why should we hire you for this position? Haha, here it's your time to shine once again. Here you can mention a couple of good points, like you're a fast learner, you're open-minded, you have a thirst to learn. You of course can summarize your skills and show them that the skills you have fit perfectly to this role. Or you can even say that, I admire your company and the vision of your company and I would love to be part of this team. The one thing you shouldn't say now is that I'm not sure why I want to join your company, or I need a job, or I want money. Of course you do all these things. Of course you do need all these things, but you shouldn't mention them at this point. You should tell them what they want to hear. Rate yourself from 1 to 10 in terms of confidence. Here you need to show confidence. You can tell them a solid 9 because there's always room for improvement, right? Leave them no choice interviewing another guy. You are the one they want, they just don't know it yet. Question number 15. You might be asked, if you were a color, which color would you be? Now, you shouldn't laugh. You should consider this question as a really serious one. What they want to hear now is a color that has positive vibes, like blue, green, or mint, or even, baby blue, or something like that. These are colors that inspire honesty and that you are loyal. So don't reply like red or black or this kind of colors, the negative vibes ones. This is mostly to understand the concept of your character, if you're a team player, if you have good vibes, if you have a good personality. And believe me, by just telling them one color, they can understand this. And that's the whole point behind this question. Of course, you might be asked if you would be an animal, which animal you would be. You can say a dog, because dogs, they are friendly, they like being around people, they are hard workers as a dog. But yeah, you got my point. You wouldn't say snake. I wouldn't say snake. And that's it. I'm done with my notes and it's time to wrap up with this video. Now, I haven't forget about the bonus tip I mentioned. If at any point during the interview you will be asked a question you have no idea of the answer, you should never tell them you don't know. You can always find out about the topic after the interview. The only thing you need to pass to them is that you are willing to learn, and anything that comes along your way, you will master it. So be diplomatic and just reply with a simple, "I'm not sure about the answer to this one, but I guarantee you that I will find out right after this interview." The only thing that the interviewer wants to see is that you're not dumb and that you're willing to learn, and he can count on you. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Please let me know if you managed to land a job because of these questions, and let me know which questions you were asked in an interview. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Here you can mention how familiar you are with Git control systems, with Git commands. Shit.